Look, ain't no remorse in my blood cell. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I back gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choker, plot press, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of man. Shooters, that was designed. 5 for our babies that pass through in the day of our king's reign. I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
The world don't love us, no. So we said, fuck the world. I got a message. God said, hold on to your sanity. I know you in a position that you ain't plan to be. With our lives, we're not addicted to the gambling. You feel the pressure and the thoughts in your head are scrambling. You feel the storm getting closer. You feel like it ran up before you even start. Then it's over. You feeling like fuck it. You going through too much to be sober, like it's passing you by as you do this over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. Time to make a change now. Little man, we started us. So we said, fuck the world. Look. Cover your eyes, don't want to see the blood on the leaves. Bodies of eyes innocently hanging from trees, floating in the screens, blood and water, blood on the altar. This is mine, you don't want it as all the women that was raped, the transatlantic slave trade made us feel the nation that we can't protect. Taking school to prison pipeline. Mass incarceration, all the lives that's been taken. Hated to love it. You only talk about forgiveness because we never get justice. I think you really slavery. Look what's going on today, and you ain't doing the damn thing but putting shame on your ancestors' name. But who's to blame? All these drugs, big dope gang. World said fuck us, so we backstage. Cowboy movie. You go to the bar, nigga, you about to get tried. You go out in the bar, you got that drink with your brothers.
Shalom Yahweh, Shemi Yahweh, Shalom Yahweh, Shema, Yahweh, Shemi Yahweh, is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out on West and on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, under the main Jimmy Yohana. Right, of course, the water coming out, the brothers are coming out, the water for the sisters coming out. We are in Annapolis, North Carolina tonight. Of course, if you see it downtown Charlotte, we are just a few miles down the road in Annapolis. Okay? Of course, here on Friday night, we are going to do the Lashawan Qadash. Understand? Introduction into your culture, your language, the Most High intended for you to have. Of course, we always start with the alphabet. We're going to skip the alphabet, of course. This week, due to a couple of technical difficulties, but we're going to jump right into the Torah. Of course, if you do not have the Torah, you can jump right into, if you have a blue letter Bible, of course, you can follow along with us at home. We stopped at Genesis 5 and 10. We're going to start at Genesis 5 and 11, and we're going to rock out. Of course, the water for tuning in, like ISUPK is 704 on YouTube, and ISUPK Charlotte on Facebook. All right? So the water for tuning in, and we're going to jump right into the Torah. Five and 12. All right, of course, have you do the Bible out, follow along with it, of course, reading this in the English. Book of Genesis, chapter 5, verse 12. And Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. All right, reading that in the Hebrew. So, the way we always do it in my class, of course, we'll get a few knocked out early. So the first thing you want to do is recognize what do you recognize right off the bat when you're looking at the particular word, right? So the first thing you want to recognize is how it ends, right? Does it end with a connecting with the last two characters connecting, or do you have something silent, or do you have something that ends by itself, right? So in this particular case, we know that the Yah is going to end by itself, right? So if the Yah is going to end by itself, So that means these two, the Yah and the Ka, are going to connect, making the word Yah. So the end of the slide. So the end, that sound with them connecting is Yah. So it's going to end Yah, right? So we know how it's going to end. Yah, Yah. So all you have to do is put the beginning of it together. In this particular case, Wah, right? Wa Yah. Wa Yah. Keeping it going, of course, in the next word. First thing you should recognize is that this is a character that is only going to end at the end of the words, right? So we know that's a na. That's the first thing you should recognize. Then you should also recognize that the na and the ya are going to connect. And the sound that they're going to make is na, right? Na. The na and the na are going to connect, making the sound nine. So you know it's going to end in nine. Nine. Right? Now, all you have to do now is put the beginning of it together, which is the qua and the ya. So that word is going to be quiet nine. Qua, ya, nine. Quiet nine. Right? Keeping it going. We know that this is a ma. That's going to end at the end of that word. That's the first thing we should recognize. Second thing we should recognize is that the ya and the ma are going to connect, making the sound yam. So we know this is going to end with yam. Yam. Now all we have to do now is put the rest of it together. We have wa ba'ai. Wa ba'ai yam. 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 All right? Right. So, okay, the next word, of course, we know that the ha is actually going to be silent. We know that the ha is going to be silent, and with it being silent, we know that the na and the ha are going to connect, making the sound na. So we know that it's going to end in na, right? Spelled na, N-A-H. Ha is going to be silent. And of course, all we're doing now is put the beginning of it together. Sha, shana, shana. Keep it going here. First thing you want to recognize is that the la and the da are going to connect, making the end of this word live. So we know that the end, again, is live. All right? Put the beginning of it together. Wa, ya wa. Wa ya wa. Wa ya. Wa ya wa. We know these are going to connect. Of course, we already from right to left, so we know this word is ah. Ah. All right. So we know these are going to connect. The next word we know the ah and the la are going to connect, making the sound ah. Ah. Right? So we know that this is going to end in ah. All All right, now it's just a matter again of putting everything else together. The ma, the ha, the la, and the la. Mahala la'al. Mahala la'al. Maha'a la'al. So I can actually make sure one thing. Right, maha la la'al. Maha la la'al. All right. All right, so reading in English again from the book of Genesis, chapter 5 and verse 12. And Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. Right? So reading that in the Hebrew, you have Wayakya, Kwayanan, Wabayam, Shana, Wayawala, Af, Mahalalal. Again, Wayakya, Kwayanan, Wabayam, Shana, Wayawala, Af, Mahala La'al. Give you a minute to write that down, of course. And we'll go to the slides. And you want to put them up for us? So I'll let you put them up, put the here you go. I'll let you put the ancient. Right? So what you're saying now is she is going to write the ancient. Hey, what? Oh, these are different brands. Here, give it to me. What? Doing right? Oh, look out, look out. Oh man, good job, man. So, good eye. So that's a shot. Talk about ayam. Right? You can write that down, and we'll go to the next verse. Talk about ayam. Good eye for that. Good eye. The water. All right, so reading in English. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 5, and verse 13. And Canaan lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years, and begot sons and daughters. All right? So reading that in the Hebrew, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We want to recognize right off the bat what he's saying. So in this first word, first thing you should see is that this Yah at the end is going to be by itself. If the Yah is going to be by itself, then this Yah and this Ha will connect, making it sound Yah. So the end of this is going to end in Yah. So we know how it's going to end. Yah, Yah. All is left. All is left is to put the beginning of it together, which is the Wa. Wayakya. Wayakya. Now, of course, as both of these verses started with how they start. Both of these verses started with Canaan, right? And Canaan lived, right? So that's why we're seeing a lot of the same words. So the more you actually starting to read it, the more you will see it. It'll come together for you. Of course, it does start with learning the actual alphabet. But what we see here, of course, is that the Na and the Na are going to connect, making it sound what? Na. So we know it's going to end in Na. All we got to do now is put the beginning of it together, which is the Kwa and Yah. Kwayanan. Kwayanan. Kwa. Yah. Kwayanan. What are we saying here? Of course, we know that the Yah is going to be by itself. The Ka and the Ra are going to connect. This is going to end Kar. We know it's going to end in Kar. Yah. Right? Put the beginning of it together, which is the Ah. Akar. 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 Right? We know that the Wa. And in this word is going to be by itself. If we know that the Wa is by itself, we know that the Yah and Yah are going to connect. So this word is going to end in Yahweh. Yahweh. We know how it's going to end. Look that up. Yahweh. 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 All the left is to put the beginning of it up, right? The beginning is Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The beginning is Hallelujah. Ha, wa, la, Hallelujah. Wow. Hallelujah. Right here. We know, of course, we're going to connect, making the sound ah. Right. Okay, so we know this. We saw this word a little bit in the previous verse. All. We know it's going to end in all. All. How's it going to begin? Maha, la la all. Maha, la la all. Maha, la all. Maha, la all. Okay? The Yah and Ma are going to connect. This is going to end in Yam, Yam, Yam. Okay? So we're going to put the rest of it together. Our Bayam, our Bayam, Ah. Our Bayam, Ah, Ra. Ba, I, yum, I yum. Right here, we know that the ha is going to be silent. If the ha is silent, the non-ha is going to connect, making the sound na. So we know it's going to end in na. Put the rest of them together. Sha. Shana. Shana. Same thing here, of course. Same principles. We recognize the same things right off the bat. So you know if it has a ha at the end, that ha is going to be silent. Whatever it's connected to, it's going to connect to it, but it'll be silent. So it's a not. It's going to end in not. N-A-H. All right? Now putting the rest of it together. Watch the da. Sloppy. Watch the ma. Watch the mana. Wa. Was da. Was da. Mana. No. All right? Right here, of course, what you recognize first is that your wa and your tha are going to connect, making what sound? Wa. Wa. All right? Wa. Okay. Putting the beginning of it together, ma'a. Ma'awa. Ma-a-wa. Ma'awa. Same principle with the ha at the end. We know it's going to be silent. We know that the na and the ha are going to connect, making it sound na. End of it na, putting the beginning of it together, sha. Shana. Right? Right here, la. We know that the la and the da are going to connect. We know it's going to end in la. And putting the beginning of it together, wa. Whole thing together is wa ya. Wala. Right? Right here, the ya and the ma going to connect, making the sound yum. Going to end in yum. All you gotta do is put the rest of it together. Bana, banayam. 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 All right? Right here, of course. Wanata, going to connect. It's going to end in wa. All right? Putting the rest of it together, the beginning is going to be wa, bana. Waba, wabana, wa. Wabana, wa. Wabana, wa. All right? So we do me a favor. Coming with the ancient board. Wa. All right, so we do a little minute or two way to put that down. Of course, reading that in the Hebrew, so like reading that in English. All right, you got the book of Genesis, chapter 5 and verse 13. And Canaan lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years, and he got sons and daughters. Reading that from in the Hebrew, you have Wayaka, Kwayanan, Akarya, Hawalayada, Ah, Mahalala, Ah, Awabaya, Shana, Washamana, Ma'awa, Shana, Wayala, Banayam, Wabawa. Give you a minute to write that down, and we'll go into the next verse. All right, we go to Genesis chapter 5, verse 14. All right, starting from right to left. Of course, we're going to do the same thing. What do we recognize right off the bat? That this job, this wall is by itself. Now, of course, if the Y is by itself, you want to look at the next two beside it. These two are not going to go together, so that means that all this is going to be singular. So that's why you have Waya, Wayahaya. 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 Ka, ka. The next word, of course, this Yah is going to be by itself. That means these two are going to connect. It's going to end in the Yah. We know it's going to end in Yah by itself. And all we're going to do is put this together, put the beginning of it together. Yum. Yum, Yah. Yum, Yah. Okay? The na are going to connect, making the sound nam. We know it's going to end in nan. Put the beginning of it together. Kwa Yah. Wa. Yah. Kwa Yadam. Right here, the Shah and the Ra are going to connect, ending with Shah. Okay. Put the beginning together. I Shah. The Yah and the Ma are going to connect, making the sound Yam. Putting the beginning of it together. Shana. Shana. Shanayam. Right? The Shah and the I are going to connect, making the sound Shai. Shai. So the beginning of it together. Wata. Wata. Watashai. Watashai. Alright. Right here. The wa and the sa connecting that word that sound makes a wa sound. Putting the rest of it together. The ma and the ah. The ma and the ah. Putting the whole thing together. Ma'awa. Alright? Right here we know that if it ends with the ha, this ha is going to be silent. And then whatever is beside is going to connect. So it's going to end in the na. Na. It's going to end in na. Put the beginning of it together. Stop. Shana. Right here. The ma on the top. Going to connect, making the sound ma. 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 With the beginning, wa ya. Wa ya. Putting the whole word together, wa ya ma. All right, can you do me a favor? And I'll put the H in for the one for it. You know what? Let me use a different marker because you can barely see it. Let me just think. Probably orange. What's the word for you right now too? What you got in it? Yum. What's that word?
Yum.
Yum ya. What you say?
Yum.
Yum ya. Mm-mm. Because you're reading from right to left, right? So it's yum ya. Good job. Kwayanan. Okay. I star. I Shanayam. Shanayam. Wakashai. Wakashai. Ma'awath. Ma'awath. Shana. Wayama. All right, the water for that. And read that in the Hebrew. When we start reading it in English, that is the book of Genesis, chapter 5, verse 14. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he dies. In the Hebrew, we have Wayahayawa, Kal, Yam Yah, Kwayanan, Ishar, Shanayam, Wakashai, Ma'awath, Shana, Wayamath. All right, give me a minute to write that down. See if we can get another one in, okay? Two in. Yeah, we should get to. And yeah, we get to. All right. Okay, from Genesis chapter 5 and verse 15. Now, of course, a lot of this is the same thing. So if you are at home putting this together, you should start to kind of see these come together for you. All right? Mahalalel. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. All right, so reading it in the Hebrew, of course, what we recognize right off the bat with this first word is that the Yah is by itself. All right? We know that the Yah is by itself. So if we know the Yah is by itself, these two are likely to connect. That is Yah. So we know it's going to end in Yah. All right? Put the beginning of it together. Wah. Well, Yah. Well, Yah. All right? Right here, we know that the ah and the la connect, making the sound all. All right? Putting the rest of them together, makah la, mahala la, mahala la all, mahala la all, mahala la all. The shah la, the ma and the shah are going to connect, making the sound marsh. You know, it's going to end in marsh. The beginning of it, ka. Put the whole thing together, kamas. All right? We know the yah and the ma are going to connect, going to end in yam, the beginning of it together. Shana. Shah. Shanayam. Remember the Yam mark in the connect. It's going to end in Yam. Put the rest of them together. What Shah, Shah, Yam. What Shah to Yam. What Shah to Yam. All right. What the principles here, of course, we know if it ends in a ha is silent, the non-ha going to connect, making the sound na. From the beginning of it together, Shah, Shana. The la and the da are going to connect, making it sound loud. Loud. At the beginning of it together, wa, ya wa. Wa, ya wa la. Wa, ya wa la. Ah. Of course, the ah and the da go together, making it ah. Ra, ra. You know, it's going to end in ride. But the beginning of it together, you're right. You're right. All right? You do me a favor and put them in the Assyrian for me, please. Put them in the ancient for me, please. You understand the word?
Washam, Sham, Yam.
What Dr. Yam?
Shalom.
Shana.
Why not?
So what?
Why not?
Why you a lot? Hmm?
Off.
Ah,
Yeah, when. Wrong.
you're right. All right. Thank you. Wow. Give you a minute to write that down. And we'll get one more. Before you write down, just notice was fifteen. Right. So let me get to this one real quick. All right. So of course, a lot of these you've already seen today. So you should be able to go through them fast. Just like this. You know the God's gonna be by itself. All right. You know the big God, this mind's gonna connect, making it sound yak yak. Right? It's gonna end yak yak. Yak yak. All right. So in the beginning of it is wow. Well yak yak. Same thing here, we know the ah and the la is going to connect, ending in ah, ah. When the rest come together, mahalala, maha, la la, maha, la la, ah, maha, la, ah. Yah is going to be by itself. The ka and the ra is going to connect. It's going to end in car, hard, yah. Right? The beginning of it, ah, a card. Right? We know that the yah, selecting the wa, is going to end by itself. We know these two are going to connect. That is the yah and the da. So it's going to end in yah, yah, wa. At the beginning of it, ha, wa, la. Ha, wa, la, yah, ha, wa, la, yah, ha, wa, la, yah. Right here, ah, the ah and the ta connect, ah. Right? The ra and the da are going to connect. The ra and the da are going to connect, making it sound rod, rod. At the beginning of it, yah, your rod. Right here, yam, and then yam. Right. The beginning of it, shalasha, shalasha, sha, la, sha, shalashayam, shalashayam. If it ends with a ha, of course, you know that ha is going to be silent. What's next to it is going to connect. That's a na, so we know it's going to end in na with the ha side. Right? The beginning of that word is shah. We're going to put the shah, connecting it, shana. Again, with the ha at the end, what do we know? The ha is going to be silent. I'm going to put that there. What the side is going to connect, that's the na, so it's going to end in na. Na. Right? Beginning, sha, salaka, wa, shama, wa, shamana, wa, sha, na, na. Right here, wa, and ta, going to connect, making this kind of wa. Going to end in wa. Put the beginning of it together, the mind ah, ma, ah, ma, wa. Right here, ha, silent. Then connect with it to the side, the na, and then the na. The beginning of it together, ta, the na. Right here, the la and da, It's going to end in lad. Lad. The beginning is wa, 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 ya, wa. Wayala. From here, the ya and the ma, I'm going to connect, making it sound yum, yum. Okay? Put the beginning of it, but not. But yum. Right here, the one on the top, wa. It's going to end in wa. Okay? Put the beginning of it, wabana, wabana, wa, ba, na, wabana, wa. All right? That's pretty fast there, of course. Reading that in the English. Book of Genesis, chapter 5, and verse 16. All right? And Mahalalel lived after he begot Jared 830 years and begot sons and daughters. All right, so reading that in the Hebrew, you have Wayakya, Mahala, La'al, Akarya, Hawalayadwa, Ah, Yarad, Shayam, Shana, Washamana, Ma'awath, Shana, Wayawala, Banayam, Wabanawath. Reading it from again, from reading it again from the top in the Hebrew, Wayakya, Mahala, La'al, Akarya, Hawalayadwa, Ah, Yorah, Shalatayam, Shana, Washamana, Ma'awat, Shana, Wayawat, Salakia, Wayawala, Banayam, Wabanawa. Right? And of course, we say every week, start with the alphabet. This is something you definitely want to, anytime you get a chance on your slave, anytime you get a chance, you want to jot down your alphabet. You get an alphabet sheet, of course, by coming to class. Any class, of course, you should be able to get an alphabet sheet, or you can Google Isupk Hebrew alphabet and actually go to the images and print out your alphabet sheet there as well. And this is putting your alphabet sheet together. It's going to start helping you learn the characters and the sounds they make, right? So when we read from the Hebrew, when we read Salaki from the Torah or from the Blue Letter Bible, this is what's helping us, right? So the way we are trying to read these words, of course, is, of course, this is for the people that are just learning. What you see in the orange is what we are recognizing right off the bat when we see the word. How it ends, what connects, what's by itself or what's silent, right? And then the rest of it is putting the rest of that particular those characters together to complete the word or to start the word. So what you see in blue is the beginning. What you see in the orange is at the very end. All right. And of course, the water for tuning in. We are in Isupk Charlotte on Facebook, Isupk 704 on YouTube. Of course, we are in Kannapolis, North Carolina. With that, we're going to go ahead and pick the class up. All right, ISPK security announcement. We are the ISPK under Command General Muhammad, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are all living for 6 months. They have to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which their brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tied to the commandment found in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10, means 10 in the Hebrew. My Isupk. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the treasury department or the teacher, free bill, so I can free fund, free will for the priest is not mandatory. Of course, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That's black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, Amanu means to stand, Wapayam Hakadam means to turn and face the east. We're going to end in the Lord's Prayer. In the Hebrew, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakah, Taba'ah, Rakazah, Hayah, Shah, Barakazah, Tawah, Hayah, Bashamayim, Latunana, Lakam, Yawam, Waslakana, Kawakana, Kasalana, Walking out, Wa'a, Tabi'ana, Bantawan, Abal, Ashana, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Lata, Amalaka, Wahal, Wahapal, Lawalami, Armad. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, I'll be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debt, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. Start. The child is sister's going to say, want to give one curse to the men of Israel, mighty Shabbat, a mighty, a rock. How about Shema Shabbat God? Sister, a mighty, we're going to give a curse to the sister, mighty Shabbat, a mighty, a rock. Yahweh from all the God by Shema Shabbat. Yahweh in the top, blasphemy.